What is your full name?
Kurt Einhaus.
Where are you from?
I live in Huntington Woods, Michigan.
How old were you in 2009?
I was 42.
What do you recall about your financial life before the Great Recession?
We lived comfortably before.
How do you feel about finding a job or keeping a job?
During that period, I think everyone was nervous, including myself. Our company that I worked for was struggling, and they were laying people off. So I certainly was worried. Um,
Was this
not
before it or during it?
Before,
Mm-hmm.
I was always worried because
Mm-hmm.
I just know that there's always a chance that something can happen. I had changed jobs, so I was new to my job, so I knew that if there's going to be problems, I'd probably be one of the first to go.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was always nervous. And so yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I was nervous before. Yeah.
How did you discover that there was a economic situation going on?
Well, reading the newspapers, but also just being at the job I was at. We're a manufacturing company, and orders just started dropping. So what we thought were orders went away, and so that was kind of an early indicator that there was problems elsewhere. So, but yeah, then you read the papers. You just read it every day. There was worse and worse news. Stock market was going down. People were getting laid off. Um, the value of our homes just kept going down and down and down. So all those factors combined
Mm-hmm.
led me to the obvious conclusion that we were in trouble. We, as in the country.
Mm-hmm. So, what were your feelings?
What were my
Yeah,
feelings?
like when you first found out, what were you thinking?
Well, you're always worried, and I was worried too. Just that
Mm-hmm.
I had a job. Now, your mom had a job and a stable job, so I wasn't super worried because we could have made it even if I lost my job. And I owned my own business before, and I was comfortable if I lost the job I was at, I could start my own business again. Maybe not make as much money as I did before, but I was comfortable that I could figure something out. So I was worried, but not terribly so.
How long did you think it was going to last?
I think the typical time is 2 to 3 years that the worst of it would occur, and I think this held true. 2 to 3 years, the worst of it. Now, some people are saying we're still feeling the effects. 8 years later,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we certainly are. But it was 2 to 3 years of real rough period for many people, and since then it's been a slow, steady improvement.
You talked about this a little bit earlier, but during the recession, like job loss and security, like how do you feel about that? Like what was going through?
What was going through my mind,
Mm-hmm.
or how do I felt bad for all the people that are losing their jobs because
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of people. There's a lot of people at my company that lost jobs. A lot of people, and I certainly felt bad for them. But my viewpoint might be a little different than others because the people that we lost weren't that valuable to the company.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like an opportunity to get rid of the lower performers.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to neighbors too that work for Ford and GM, and they felt the same way. A lot of the people they were losing, um, they didn't feel that it was that bad that they're losing them, and it was
Mm-hmm.
almost a good excuse to kind of get rid of some of the lower performers. Now
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't always the case. There's still some good people that we lost, but I'd say for the most part, the people that were laid off at my company, um, it was not sad to see them go.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the government's reaction, like George Bush and Obama?
Well, it was a transition, if I remember correctly. Bush was just ending his term, and Obama was beginning his. And I think there's a limited amount that the government can do, and I think they did everything they could,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the bailout for the automotive companies. Is probably the biggest factor in